What's going on today, guys? We have a lot to talk about. Season 16 patch notes have finally dropped. This is now what's coming out. It's on paper. The devs have told us this is what's coming out. So I'm very, very excited to go over it with you guys and just give you my thoughts on what I think about everything. Now, for the first time in Apex, we have classes now for Legends. So there's going to be Assault, Scrimmage, Recon, Control, and Support. It gives that Overwatch / Valorant aspect in the sense where like, hey, you pick this person, so I think I should pick this person. And it just gives a different composition to teams, which is really cool. Obviously, this is going to be more effective for people who already have a 3-stack and they kind of like decide beforehand, hey, if you're gonna play that person, I'll play this person so we could have this. But for randoms, it's gonna be a little bit tough. Like if you solo queue, it's gonna be a little bit tough, but also if you really want to win and you see a player that's a recon and a person that's support, instead of going for another recon because you only main Bloodhound, you might want to go on the controller side or on the assault side. So it gives a different aspect to the game, and I really enjoy that, and I like that they're going that direction. I'll just go over a quick brief thing. Assaults are going to be Ash, Fuse, Mad Maggie, Bangalore, and Revenant. So I really see Mad Maggie and Bangalore being very, very meta this season, especially with you go from 60 ammo to 80 ammo and you access the red bins. And from people who have play tested have said how significantly big this actually is. Red bins are going to give you things that you just are having a hard time finding, like purple light mag or purple heavy mag or a 2x scope, or just there, we've all been there where you're halfway through the game and you're like, yo, I'm still looking for a sight if anyone sees one, or if I'm still looking for a heavy mag if anyone sees one. Like it gets annoying. So if you have a Mad Maggie, Bangalore, Ash, Fuse, Revenant, like I said, the 5 people that are assault that can open these bins, they'll open the bins and it shows you attachments coming out, and bam, there you go. That's cool. The Skirmisher is for sure the worst one. I've seen footage of this already and how it looks. It's actually pretty wild. The second you see a care package coming in from the sky, it could be literally at the peak of its top. You look at it and you could see, hey, there's an RE45 in it, or hey, there's a Kraber in it. And you could ping it to your teammates and let them know, hey, this is what's in there. I could see why Skirmishers have it, because Pathfinder, Pathfinder, Octane, Valk, and Wraith will all can get there and get back fast. But at the end of the day, I didn't really care for the fact that like, I was okay with care packages being like, you don't know until you get there unless you're Loba. Recon is going to be huge for ranked, and I know Bloodhound and Sierra are getting nerfs, and we'll go over that in a second, but I can still see them being viable in the game because of Recon being so big. It's very much like the scan room on King's Canyon, where you go to a thing and it gives you an advanced UAV of exactly where people are at. So late game, early game, any time in the game, really. You can scan it and you can see, hey, there's a duo right there, hey, there's a solo right there, and you can make your rotations based off of what you see. And it's such a big advantage to have that I could really see, especially in ALGS, Recon's being such a viable thing. It's going to be crazy. So it's going to be cool to see. Maybe Crypto really comes out this year and is a viable character because Bloodhound and Seer are so nerfed to the ground, or vice versa. It's just going to be nice to see these classes add a little extra to the game than just, your basic characters. Controller makes sense. Caustic, Watson, Rampart, Catalyst, those guys can see the next circle. And those control players are going to be the ones that get the next circle, want to hold her down, and are going to play for endgame. So it fits the characters very well. Support, Lifeline, Lobo, Newcastle, Gibby. I could see Gibby making a return if Mad Maggie isn't too heavily pushed into it. Like I said, I really see Mad Maggie being really pushed in because the shotgun meta that's going to be coming in, which we'll talk about soon. Gibby looks like he could be inching his way back into the meta. Newcastle is going to be strong. Lifeline with their buffs are going to be cool, but Loba is going to be crazy because supports now can craft banners, and Loba is very, very, very good at getting away. So I could see Loba really making an inch this season. And then just the classic Lifeline thing of accessing the blue bins, so you get extra, meds and stuff. But from what I've heard and from people from play testing, you get some significant stuff. Like you get some batteries, med kits, Phoenix kits. Like you're not your basic syringe and cells. Like you're actually getting some really good meds. So it's going to be cool to see exactly how the meta shifts in that direction and how team compositions are going to shift, and even including in the ALGS. And then before I get into it, like, yes, there's going to have limited time game modes, cool TDM, control, gun run. That's going to be cool for people who don't want to be sweaty all the time and just want to take a nice relaxed time. That's going to be a thing for you. New gun, they're shipping it really, really hot. They're going to have a gold version, which we'll talk about soon, but you're going to have a gold version. From gameplay that I've seen, this gun straight up melts, so get used to that. It's going to be very, very annoying, and I know for a fact it'll be patched within the first 2 to 3 weeks, because from what I've seen, this thing literally just straight melts. But the thing that I want to talk about, which is really, really cool and it gives people opportunity, is the first events that they're coming out with from people from leaks, and they already confirmed it, but it just depends on which event it's going to be from this season, is going to give you heirloom shards. Now they already confirmed that it's going to be a thing, but we don't know which event. But if you don't want to spend like a guaranteed $500 to get an OG heirloom that you let's say you got into this game on season 8. Now you can get those shards and pick whichever heirloom that you want. You could go for that Bloodhound, go for the Wraith, go for the Mirage. Like there's different ones that if you got into the game late, the only way to get that right now is to get it in a box, and to get that guaranteed one is you have to open up 500 of them, and that's $500. So now it's $160. It's still very expensive nonetheless. This is a really cool thing that they're coming out with, and I just wanted to make a note on that because I think that's very cool. Firing range is getting some significant buffs. You know, it's very much going to go towards aim labs in the fact that you could customize it a lot and just really train on your aim and movement and all that stuff. So not really much to say about that, just the fact that it's getting a massive buff, and I don't want to say buff, but it just changes, and it's going to be good to see. It really is. Orientational matches, cool for people who just got the game or haven't played in like a couple years. You're gonna get jumped into games with bots. You could jump in with your homies if you want to, but essentially you're just gonna get your feet wet and learn the movement and learn your abilities of the character that you're using, and just get your feet wet, and then it'll shoot you into games with its skill-based matchmaking, which I don't think they're changing this season. Now into the real patch notes. I'm sorry, I'm taking a long time talking. I'm gonna try to go as fast as I can on this. Real patch notes. You're getting a gold shotgun bolt, so now it's going to be the kinetic feeder where if you're sliding, it reloads for you. It's pretty much going to be a purple bolt, but now with the kinetic feeder added to it. Care package, the Hemlock is going into it. The Rampage is coming out. Rampage is not getting any buffs, so the Rampage is going to be a very bottom tier weapon. Longbow and Volt are going into the crafter, which is cool, but the G7 and the car coming out, so you're going to see a lot more cars. But the G7 Scout, I hate coming up against that weapon, especially on rotation base, which is why I play Wraith a lot. Especially with their buff coming this season, I'm probably going to continue to main her. Gold weapon rotations, the Nemesis, the Rampage, the PK Wingman, and R99. Very good, solid 5 weapon rotation right there. The Nemesis, like I said, this thing is going to shred Rampage. That's the only way you're going to get a good Rampage, is if you get it gold. PK is always fun. Wingman's always cool with the Skull Piercer. And then the R99. R99 right here, as you can see, it is getting a significant buff. The Anvil Receiver is coming out. I didn't really use it this much this season. I played a lot of Watson in season 15, and I'd use it every now and then because I'd be like setting up for, you know, late game, and I don't know, I just didn't really use it that often, even though it would be like setting up for late game and would try to shoot a few people across the map to get up my Evo shield, but it's not going to really be missed from my end at least. Hammer points, cool, they're coming back. I'm not really a Mozambique or a P2020 user, but shotguns in general are getting a buff with the spread, and it's going to be increasingly more accurate and like more forgiving. So Mozambique might be really good with the Hammer Bullets coming back. Car SMG, it's going from 20 to 19 on the ammo capacity. That's a bit of a nerf, to be honest with you. That's probably like, what, 18 damage taken off, 17, 16, something like that. Let's say if you try to one-clip someone, that actual one bullet does make a difference, but it's not the biggest nerf. Now, when I'm talking about buffs, this is a massive buff from 12 to 11 damage. Going that 1 extra damage on an R99 is insanely big. With the time to kill on an R99, that is a huge buff, and that is why the R99 will be the best gun, or the best SMG, I should say, going into season 16. Now, from people like Imperial House, people who already play tested this, they've already said that this is actually a bigger nerf than people actually are anticipating. They have nerfed the Flatlines hipfire. They have said that like 2 seasons ago where they nerfed it, and they said they were nerfing it and it didn't feel like much of a nerf at all. Like, it still was amazing. No, this time around it is getting a significant reduction in the hipfire for all ARs across the board. So the people who used to rock the AR sniper might want to consider their loadout change, because that hipfire up close is going to be gone. So you might, if you still love to rock a sniper, you might want to do a sniper SMG, maybe like a Volt, because it's pretty good at medium range. 301 from 14 to 13, that is a pretty big nerf. I don't know exactly why they're doing it. The R301 is so beloved, and it has been beloved since the game released. I'm thinking that they're just pushing out this new AR and they really want people to use it, so they're going that direction with it. Hemlock, like I said, it's going in the care package. We all know how good the care package weapons get, no matter what weapon it is. Mastiff is the only shotgun that spread pattern adjusts to be tighter. So depends on if that's going to be a good thing or bad thing. Like, obviously on paper it looks good, but you may miss more, even though it says increase projectile size at close range. So depends. Honestly, I don't know if this is going to be a good thing for it or a bad thing for it. For other shotguns with the increased projectile size at close range, that's good. But the spread pattern adjusting to be tighter might make it bad if you like whiff a little bit. Either way, shotguns, it's going to be a very heavy shotgun meta this season, because Like I said, the increased projectile speeds at close range, you're going to get less 8s and 9s and more like 40s and 50s and be more consistent with that. And the fact that you also get the tactical stock will improve the reload speed and the handling. So it's going to be a very shock and heavy split, or season, I should say. Rampage, everything's being the same there. This is a big one, Seer and Bloodhound. People really want these to be out of the meta already. People don't like scan characters. It kind of ruins the game. People have mixed feelings about that. People love them. I am okay about them, but to some degree, like Seer, the last 3 or 4 seasons has been a straight headache, and I can't stand him. But his passive, as an enemy, you're now gonna have audio if you're getting like looked at with a heartbeat. Apparently that's been a thing, and they're just making it louder. Never heard that before ever. So it's going to be interesting. There's going to be a delay on pulling out. When you pull your hands or your heirloom or your gun, there's going to be a delay now on seeing the heartbeat. So I think that's good. That's really good. It reduces the whole spamming aspect, and then the whole locking on. So you have to be very accurate. Like, let's say you're like looking this direction and there's an enemy like right around here. Before you be able to see like a little bit of heartbeat on the edge, now you have to literally be looking directly at the person to see if that heartbeat is there. So he's getting a pretty heavy nerf. But because of recon characters being so viable and ranked, I can see Bloodhound and Seer still being used consistently and still being annoying. But the last 3 seasons, I'm just happy to see him be nerfed in any way direction. Like he's been, him and Blood, not so much Blood, but him specifically has been very, very annoying. Tactical no longer shows full body scans, but it's not going to be like little squares or triangles on them. Doesn't really make a difference to me. I don't really see this being a massive nerf. And then the ultimate, the cooldown increases from 120 to 180. Pretty big nerf. That's an extra minute long to get his ult, but you know, nothing like a little alt Excel can't fix. And then duration from 30 to 25, a nerf, but not the biggest in the world, and no longer reveals on indication. This is the biggest nerf on the ult. Let's say you throw it and the enemy's already crouched. If they stay crouched, you're not going to see them. So if you get aggressive with it while you throw it on your own, you get aggressive, you could easily get one clipped in the back. Like, people can rat it out and can outsmart you in the sense that you get too pushy. So that's a pretty big nerf right there. Bloodhound I can't really talk about because I've already read this entire thing. It's pretty much a complete rework on his passive and his ultimate. His ultimate no longer increases his tactical, which is scans, and his scans go from 3 seconds to 1 on like the full body scan. So that's different. That's a nerf. That's a heavy nerf. But this whole White Raven thing, it's interesting to talk about. Like, eternal White Ravens will now occasionally spawn near Bloodhounds when no enemies are around. Like, it's there's this whole like different aspect to it. Time will tell. It's gonna be different. Mirage, still not enough love for Mirage, but it's a big move in the right direction. His passive is cool. The fact that you and your ally will be cloaked up after the res goes for 3 seconds, unless you pull out your weapon. That's huge for getting yourself into a safer spot to go heal. And then his bamboozles, trying to trick enemies into like shooting them. You have pretty much a scan for 3 seconds for you and your teammates of exactly where they're at, and that can help a lot. Now, Pathfinder and Wraith, the beloved OGs. From what I've heard from people who are close to devs, they tried to nerf Valk pretty heavy in the last few seasons, but she is still a very, very viable character because her rotation is so good. So they were like thinking, we can't really nerf her too much going forward unless we like literally make her like F tier. So instead of doing that, they went the direction of buffing Path and Wraith and saying, okay, let's make these very heavy rotation based characters as well and see if the meta changes. Now in ALGS and higher ranks, Valk is still going to be the number 1 for rotation base, but Wraith in endgame, Wraith is, from what I can see on paper now, is going to be the most elite rotation based. Like, it's not even close. Like, her portal getting double the distance, endgame, incredible. Like, I can't get over how good Wraith is going to be for endgame. And just the fact that Wraith is an OG. I love Wraith. I have the most kills with any character on her. Like, that, she's just so beloved for me. I'm so happy to see her get a little bit inching closer to the meta. Path, his passive, still nothing. You got to scan the care package and you get his ult back. Okay, like, they still did him dirty on his passive. His max range, his max range decreases 60%. That's huge. I've already seen footage of how it looks. I think it goes far. It goes very, very far. His max speed increased by 66. It's not just for him, but it's also his teammates. So if you get a knock and you put that ult down, you and your teammates are going to get there fast. Like, it's really, really nice how fast you go. Acceleration and exit speed adjusted. Didn't really see much of that on the video. Targeting improvements, including updated visual and audio cues. So just like the audio cues and visuals when you see it get placed, so it's going to be better. I don't really see much of a difference to that. We went over the Wraith. This whole 60 to 45 seconds thing is a bit of annoying because they buffed her and then they were like, well, let's pull her back just a tad. If you keep that at 60 seconds, I think she's full meta. I really do, especially for endgame. But just that 15 seconds of the portal going away is a bit of annoying. Horizon, RIP, it's an end of an era for her until they revert something. Her tactical, her gravity lift is completely screwed with the bloom going up of it. Your weapon spread is going to go crazy. We saw a little bit in season 15 that was not supposed to be there, but it was there because I don't know how stuff like that works, but essentially we got a little view of it and it's bad. It's really bad on how bad the bloom is and how inaccurate your gun is. To be fair, no character should just have a free, I'm gonna go 30, 40 feet in the air and be able to one clip you. Like that should never be a thing. So this is always meant to be a movement character thing, getting you and your team to high ground. So it's sad to see Horizon go because I love Horizon, but it's a welcome thing to move on to different characters as well. She's not bad still. Her passive is amazing. Probably one of the best in the game. Getting you and your team to high ground fast, especially with the 10% increase to the gravity lift, is going to be huge. Her ultimate got nerfed this season where it doesn't go through walls anymore. Just the whole gravity lift thing, not being able to like shoot well with it. That's just a massive nerf. So, and then last, Lifeline passive, her combat revive reduced the slowdown penalty. That's huge. I was testing her out recently and that whole slowdown thing can get you killed. You go for it and you get slowed down and then you can't even pull out your weapon or nothing like that. So if that gets completely cut out, that's huge. And just the fact that our care package goes down from 14 to 8, so it's nearly half the time, and it still has a smart loot. So you still get your teammates better looted up for their guns and more batteries, more syringes, more whatever. And so I think Lifeline will slowly inch her way a little bit closer to the meta, but it's still not close enough to get her like on a consistent rotation base. So, and then last but not least, yeah, these are all bugs and all that stuff, but last but not least, like ranked map rotation. I don't know how long I've been asking for this or the community has been asking for this, but especially in season 15 when we had to play Broken Moon for like 65, 75 days, playing like 2.5 months of Broken Moon made me want to go insane. Like that map, they like hard launched it. It's cool. I'm not the biggest fan of Broken Moon, and when I play this game, 90% of the time I only want to play ranked. I have to play Broken Moon for 2.5 months. Come on. So the fact that it's going to go to World's Edge on Tuesday, and then Wednesday will be Storm Point, and then Thursday will be Broken Moon, and then back to Friday World's Edge, like that's so cool. They've been needing this. If they could just add all the maps in rotation, I think that'd be a little bit better. I don't know why Olympus got taken out mid-season 15. Like they had problems with it, with games crashing. Either way, it's a welcome sight. I'm very excited for season 16. Let me I know this is a very long video and there's a lot of ranting and just a lot of details that probably didn't need to be said, but I'm just breaking down everything I feel about the game, all the patch notes. Let me know if you guys enjoy this video. It's probably a little bit too long for you guys. Again, I'm sorry, but I'm very excited for season 16 and I just wanted to get this off my chest. So yeah, I will catch you guys later.